Hi Virgo, and welcome to your May monthly predictions reading. We are looking at the month of May, doing a general predictions reading. This reading is also intended for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Risings. So if you're not a Virgo and you're just here checking up on a Virgo that you are interested in, then you're more than welcome to stay. I don't have anything against cross watchers. I just need you to know that I'm a very honest reader. So if you hear or see something you don't like, you have been warned. Now, as usual, we're going to start your reading by getting a card from my Gem Oracle deck. This card will tell us the overall theme that your sign can expect to experience in the month of May. So what can Virgo expect in the month of May, Spirit? What is the main theme for Virgo in the month of May? What is the main theme for Virgo in the month of May? It's been a bit tricky. It's raining today, so the moisture in the air is making the cards a little bit warped. Not too bad, but yeah, it does kind of cause a bit of issues shuffling. This is so bizarre. You know what? I'm going to shuffle this card back in because we just got that for Taurus. If it's meant to be for you, it's meant to be for you, but I don't think it is. Spirit, we're focusing on Virgo. What is Virgo's main theme for the month of May? Listen, it keeps coming out. We're going to have to take that card. So bizarre. It's the same theme as Taurus. We have Dumortierite coming out for you twice, so I got to take it. Dumortierite is linked to the number 25 in this deck, the Sun. In terms of a planetary alignment, we also have the solar plexus chakra and the fire element and this interesting yoga pose. What do I feel for you? This is so hard to separate you from Taurus's energy. Listen, I'll just rattle off themes here. I see reunion for some of you. I see challenges. Naturally, Dumortierite is a very challenging energy that encourages you to stand true to a path that you've chosen for yourself. Sometimes it's about standing up for yourself even, because you are going to face challenges. It's nothing that you can't overcome. But it does require you to sometimes think on your head, like the yoga pose was showing you, and to just kind of ground yourself. It's interesting that this energy is impacting the earth signs. Solar plexus chakra tells me that movement here is very significant in the month of May, but I do think that the goal here is to focus on your happiness and to kind of find solutions by thinking outside the box sometimes, or thinking on your head, you know, looking at things differently. So I kind of just want to get into it because I'm curious to see how this will break down in your week by week energy. So let's start with week 1 in May and let's have a look at what you can expect. What can Virgo expect for the month of May, please, Spirit, starting with week 1? What can Virgo expect in week 1 of May? We have an Earth card. We've got the 7 of Pentacles coming out for you upright. So that first week, there is a strong need to be patient. I feel patience testing you here. I sense that the road ahead is about knuckling down and focusing on the tasks at hand and committing to a long-term plan. So this is interesting. Either in week 1, you are needing to commit yourself to something that you've already started, or you're needing to kind of put your head down, start something, and recognize it as a long-term commitment. I feel like this is going to challenge you because Saturn is on this card, as well as Taurus. And Taurus can be stubborn. Taurus is very much about routine. And in order to be successful, you've got to stay focused and you've got to be on yourself here. You can't afford to procrastinate. You got to kind of settle into a healthy work-life balance for some of you, or just creating better balance between your different needs and aspects of your life. I see Saturn making it a bit tricky for you there and trying to test you into that long-term commitment. Listen, the next card I was supposed to get for you was your challenge, but I feel like 7 of Pentacles is challenge enough. Spirit, what else is going on here in the first week of May? What other challenge, or what can you tell us more about the challenge that Virgo needs to focus on in that first week, or should be made aware of? That first week, we have the Page of Cups. So with the 7 of Pentacles comes the Page of Cups as a challenge. That's interesting. Your close connections may suffer due to your need to stay focused here. While you're figuring out your path, or you're settling out this routine or this new sort of balance in your life, I sense with the Page of Cups reversed that some of your closer relationships are going to struggle, especially if this is work related or it's just very time consuming. The Page of Cups reversed reversed almost tells me that the challenge here is to communicate your feelings more effectively to those who matter. So if there's someone in your life that you see regularly who you're going to have to see less in order to do this, they deserve to know why you're cutting them out. I think that other than that message, I think that you need more emotional connection in that first week of May. It feels like you're neglecting your own emotional, excuse me for sweating, I'm still kind of recovering from a sickness. It feels like you need to give yourself more room in that first week of May to be emotionally connected to those around you. And the Page of Cups is more in reference to people who bring about a fun side. Incorporating more of that fun side. So friends, siblings, you know, people who can bring you that sort of fun mood, that fun energy. Let's get some advice though. What's going on here in the first week for Virgo? Yeah, advice is the nectar. So I do think that not all that sweet is shining and gold. I believe that Spirit is encouraging you to focus on your yes, by all means, you know, stay focused on your material. But I think that with nectar as your advice, don't neglect that sweet side, that soft side, and that side that just needs company, you know, connection, companionship. That first week is really about finding the right companionship, because you don't want to accidentally reach out to someone who is available but not the best option. So maintain those close connections, you know. Let's migrate now to week 2 in May. What can Virgo expect in week 2? We have the Empress coming out for you in the upright position. So this is beautiful. This is a really strong energy. In week 2, your overall energy seems to be one that is fertile, growing, abundant. The goal here is to kind of build yourself, I feel. In that second week, we're really kind of trying to be sustainable as well as what Spirit is saying. So I almost feel like there's something grassroots that you're working on down here that you're trying to grow. The Empress is good though. The Empress means that this is showing signs of being abundant, of really having longevity, and you may have the chance to expand in that second week on something that is already doing well for itself. A mother could play a significant role, or a child, and putting you into a parenting role. But the goal here is just nurturing something that is already doing well and expanding it further. So let us get some... Oh, we're not going to use that deck. Let's lose the other deck. Let's have a look at the challenge in that week, because that's positive energy. So I feel like your hard work from week 1 is paying off. What is the challenge in week 2, please, Spirit? Yeah, I always sweat when I'm out here too, so don't mind me and my slimy face. What is the challenge in week 2? We have the Sun again. Your challenge is just happiness. Your challenge seems to be linked towards your mindset, your mental health, your mentality, your joy. And that could be that reunion, because remember, Demortiorite had the Sun as well. So maybe that's your overall energy, Virgo, is that you actually just need more moments with people who really bring out a good side to you, a really fun, loving side to you. I see the Sun here reversed as your challenge being kind of your headspace, maintaining optimism and joy, to be honest with you. So I feel with that card reversed, yeah, we need to either call on those that bring us up and ask for some support, or we just need to be more mindful of where our mind goes when we kind of get into those heavier moods, and finding ways to lift ourselves up out of that as well. So whatever works for you best. I just think that your mindset here, we don't want to accidentally get too pessimistic or doubtful just because of one little incident. And I don't see it really happening. Like, the Empress is a really positive energy for week 2. So I do believe that this is just a case of being mindful and finding ways to kind of bring back that optimism and that joy. What is the advice here in week 2 for Virgo? Wow, that just flew out. Your advice is Eros. So yeah, all of your advice has to do with connection. It also has to do with love. Eros is more of like a lusty card, and Nectar, in terms of like love, is very passionate. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. because this wasn't supposed to be a love reading, but it seems like some of you are neglecting a relationship in your life, or you're neglecting your own sensuality. So by the second week, you're really being called to be more sort of sensual. And sometimes this isn't just about lust. This is about being mindful of what you're eating and enjoying the flavor. This is about taking time to observe your surroundings and enjoying the view. All the senses, you know, we're not just talking about sex here. So I feel in the second week, your advice is to just be aware of where you're at. Stay present, stay grounded, and give yourself something to be excited about sensually. Whether that's seeing a movie that you really like, making a big deal out of it, you know, putting effort into it so that it's almost like a little date night for yourself, or inviting somebody to go see a movie. I just feel like there needs to be something here that is stimulating towards your senses and almost distracting, so that your mind can get back into its more sort of optimistic mindset. Let's have a look at that week 3 now. What can Virgo expect in week 3? Sorry, my nose is doing weird things if you heard that. I'm very aware of the fact that the microphone's here. What is going on in week 3 for Virgo? I'm also just trying to really keep my skin hydrated, so I'm not mad at the sweating, because I was so dehydrated last week. So it's refreshing to look into the camera and see it like shining and glowing again. All right, so week 3 Virgo, I am seeing 2 water-based energies, major arcana. We have the Death card and we have the Chariot. So in week 3, I do see that movement coming through, that solar plexus movement. I see transformation. I do see challenges, but it's nothing that hasn't previously come up is what I feel. We'll see what your challenge card says, but the overall energy of week 3 is movement, determination, transformation, and I also feel you purging here. I feel you wanting to let go and embrace a new cycle or a new way of doing things, or a new beginning for yourself. But that week 3 is very much about letting go and observing an ending. With death being so present, we have to let something be where it is and almost grieve it, acknowledge it, it's finished, it's done, determined now to move forward and start something new. I really think that your feelings are being highlighted throughout this month, especially in week 3. You've been hinted at in week 1 and 2 to be aware of your feelings, your connection, your need to be around people. By week 3, you're really going to be aware of your feelings, as they will be guiding you through some of the decisions you need to make. They will be very prevalent in the way of fear, and they will also be your key in stabilizing and focusing on what it is that you want to do here with this Chariot. So let's have a look at your main challenge in week 3 for Virgo, please, Spirit. Yeah, the close loved ones are going to be very important to you. I always see the Chariot with Cancer as like you having a sentimental meaning, a really heartfelt reason behind your determination. You know, I'm doing this for my mum, or I'm doing this for this, I'm doing this for that. So it's really important that you keep your loved ones close in week 3, even if it's your children, Virgo. What is the challenge in week 3 for Virgo, Spirit, in May? They're showing me the King of Pentacles. So there is a family connection here, but the challenge with the King of Pentacles could be long-term plans, career, could be a big nest egg that you've been sitting on, getting tempted to get back into that hustle and grind, when actually this week is calling for you to be more emotional, more expressive, more emotive. So week 3 is an interesting plot twist. I believe that this is where you are being called to kind of stay in your feelings, and your challenge here is to still maintain your priorities and obviously still do what you need to do to get to where you want to be. It's an interesting challenge because you seem to be tipping either too far practical or too far emotional, and you got to find the middle ground here. So by week 3, you're too emotional, even though I'm telling you to be. That's the nature of life. We don't sort of operate like robots. So the challenge here with the King of Pentacles could be a responsibility that you have to your career, to your family, or just the idea that you need to get back onto your hustle and grind schedule despite having to deal with this ending. I want to get advice for you now, please, Spirit. What is the advice in week 3 for Virgo? What is the advice in week 3 for Virgo? We have the womb coming out for you. So what is the number on top of this? 60, 44, 46? 46, thank you, Spirit. It's 46. So the womb is an interesting energy. You've got this undercurrent of sensuality, and it still maintains in the third week with the womb. That makes me think of your sacral chakra, creation, gestation, growing. And you had that in the third week as well with the Empress. So I feel like you're strongly being encouraged throughout this week to really stick to the task at hand, the goal, your long-term goal. Don't lose sight just because of the challenges you may be experiencing. I do see you being successful. I think in week 3, your advice is to continue growing it. It's not yet ready to be born or to pull out, if that makes sense. Like, if I'm thinking of it as like a vegetable that you would grow under the ground. Don't pull it out yet. It's not ready. I don't know if you've ever grown carrots, but they're really odd when you pull them out too early. I feel like the week 3 is just encouraging you to continue growing and to continue letting the situation grow. And that seems to be linked to your challenge with the King of Pentacles here, maintaining that responsibility as well, that long-term commitment. Let's have a look at your 4th week now. What is happening in Virgo's 4th week of May, Spirit? We are being shown the blasted tower in the reverse position. So this is strong Mars energy. This is a feeling of needing to pick up the pieces after something has already happened. So I'm confused as to when this tower moment happened, because for some reason it's only coming up in the 4th week of May, but when it's reversed, it's telling me that it's something that has happened previously. A tower moment to help you figure out when this could have happened is something that happens unexpectedly, suddenly. We have no control over it. It's very damaging. It can come across as very chaotic, sometimes like traumatic. So when it does happen, it instantly changes the course of our lives, whether it means that our relationship has changed forever or our career has changed forever. Usually tower moments that have happened to me personally have impacted every area of my life, my relationships, my connection to self, my spirituality, my diet, where I live. They're pretty drastic, so they're hard to ignore. For some reason, this is coming up again in the 4th week of May, and the reason why this is resurfacing is because we've neglected the foundation here after the tower moment has happened. We've neglected an aspect of our life that needs to be focused on, and I believe this has to do with your connections, but not necessarily. It has to do with an area of our life where it fell to pieces, but we didn't have the time, the space, the energy to focus on rebuilding it from the ground up. So in the 5th week of May, it's becoming a lot more obvious and a lot harder to ignore. And that is, again, creating some friction. So let's have a look just to be sure. What is the main challenge in that 4th week of May? Did I say the 5th week? I apologize. The 4th week. We have the Knight of Cups, I believe. Yeah, the Knight of Cups in the reverse position. So that's the challenge. You've got a lot of watery challenges. I'm really just noticing all your challenges have to do with your emotions, your happiness. Except for that King of Pentacles, when for once you were actually really in your feels. So your challenge here, I would argue, is to actually be less emotionally attached, because I believe that in that situation, you'll work better if you can kind of just deal with it as something that needs to be done, and trying not to make such a big, I know this sounds so rude to say, but the message I'm getting is trying not to make such a big deal out of it, only because the emotions aren't as fresh as they were when it first happened, and it's really just something that needs to be done, and it's not catastrophic anymore. It needs to be observed as an opportunity to rebuild, and it's not something that should take away from us anymore. It should be something that we can build for ourselves, something that we can create for ourselves, and something that we should be eventually proud of, because look what you're able to do, Virgo. So I feel like this Knight of Cups reverse is saying it's time to put your big boy pants on, your big girl pants on, your big non-binary, non-genderfied pants on, and just deal with the task at hand. It's an interesting challenge. It's like separate your feelings and just act. Just do it. What is the advice here, Spirit, in week 4 of May for Virgo? What is the advice here in week 4 of May? Your advice is the unseen. Yeah, so much is happening behind the pictures for you. So much is happening that you cannot observe, that you have not been made privy to. So just deal with it now so that you can leave room in your life for some of the better things, for some of the more joyful things, for some of those things that you actually deserve. Because why should you have to continue to deal with this? Just like a band-aid, rip it off, get it done, so that by June you have room for some of the joy that Spirit seems to have planned for you. I want to throw out some significant dates. We have the 27th. We also had the 13th, the 7th, the 16th. The 7th is very significant, and the 3rd, 13th, 7th, 16th, and the 27th. 7 is very significant for your group, Virgo. And that's what I'm seeing for you, Virgo, for the month of May. I hope this was a helpful reading. I hope the advice is helpful for you as well. You're more than welcome to come back throughout the month and really listen to that advice or observe it, and it may be different. You know, maybe your ears are hearing the message differently and it helps in a different way as the month goes by. You do not have to claim this as your fate or your destiny. Remember that your reality is in your hands. You create it with your actions, your intentions. Have a wonderful, prosperous May, and I hope to connect with you very, very soon. Bye!